New Zealand First will support the Electronic Transactions Contract Formation Amendment Bill as far as the Select Committee, because it at least deserves proper consideration, and I congratulate the member for having this bill selected from the ballot. However, the bill may prove not to be needed because the general rule of contract formation is that a contract is formed at the time an acceptance of the offer is received by the offeror. And that applies generally unless an exception applies. And as we know, there is no such exception for electronic transactions such as those formed with an exchange of emails. And as is also very well known, there is an exception for acceptances by post in the well-known case of Adams and Linsell, so that the date and time of acceptance is when the letter is posted, not when it is received. And the reliability of the postal system was considered to be so good that this rule could apply well in practice, and indeed it has served us well over a couple of centuries. Otherwise, of course, it would be difficult in practice to complete any contracts through the post, because if the offeror is not bound by the offer until the answer is actually received, then the offeree would not be bound until they had received advice of that. And also, the offeror may simply decide to deny receipt of acceptance. So there were good and practical reasons for the rule in Adams and Linsell. And I agree that the long-standing rule in that case is, however, not appropriate for all electronic transactions. Contractual offers by telex, as with the telephone, or just face-to-face, of course, are simultaneous, so that a contract is formed when the offeree accepts at the same time as the offeror gets the acceptance. While it is correct that there is no clear authority on acceptance by way of email, there is no established exception either. So the general rule applies in favour of acceptance when it is received. This also is at the same time as when it is sent, if it is sent by electronic means such as email. Nevertheless, this bill would serve to clarify the law, and I accept that the position with telex differs from emails, and that is, of course, because communication by telex is generally acknowledged at each end, at the sending machine and the receiving machine at the same time. With an email, however, as we are all very well aware, it is not known to the sender if an email has been received unless some form of confirmation is received from the recipient. Although the sender of an email can obtain confirmation that a message has been received, that is not commonly done. So the issue really is here that emails are delivered by a variety of servers, and there is not the same assurance that an email will get to the intended recipient or be acknowledged, as is the case with post. For those reasons, I do believe that this bill deserves examination by the committee, first of all to see if it's needed, and I think there is at least a prima facie case for it. And if it is needed, we need to consider what the bill should provide. And that needs to, I think, be very carefully looked at. If indeed the bill is passed, it would clarify one small area of uncertainty and would assist business. Given the prevalence of electronic communications in society today, with emails, smartphones and all sorts of other devices, it is useful that the current Act be amended to cover such areas. So New Zealand First, Mr Speaker, will therefore support the bill to the committee stage, and we would look forward to the debate on all of those issues there.
Speaker.
Senator Sam Lutuinga.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and it's a privilege to speak